As many of you who've been following me know, I just finished having a birthday. It wasn't a milestone birthday, but hey, you know what? Why not celebrate everything? So I turned 42, and one of the things that has become more and more important is your physical body as you age. I won't lie, friends have been getting sick. I myself find that my body is different. So I've really been thinking about how to navigate that. And the question around what do you know about your body, and how do you know what do you do when your body is not well? And I've realized that this process is actually multi-layered. The first layer is the most obvious one. It's physical. Has there been physical trauma? Did you fall down? Did you ram your elbow into something, or whatever? I'm constantly bumping into shit. Probably the easiest, that's the layer that most doctors will work at, cause, effect, symptom, fix, done. But there are more elements even to the physical aspect. For instance, are you resting your body enough? Are you nourishing your body enough? You hear a lot about inflammatory foods like gluten, dairy, and at a certain point in your life, you can't tolerate them anymore. And I'm on the fence about what is across the board inflammatory. I do think there are cultural elements. I grew up in India where people eat a lot of wheat and don't seem to have any gluten intolerances. But whatever it is, every body is unique, and you should know what feels good and what doesn't feel good, and that's what intuitive eating is, right? It should be basically just knowing what feels good to your body in particular. The rest piece is really important. In India, when a woman gives birth to a baby, the mother and the child are both in confinement for 40 days. All they do is rest and recover, because that's how long it takes for the baby to get acclimated into the new world and for the mother to readjust. And in Western culture, it correlates to the 6-week checkup, right? When I had my kids here in the West, I was not resting for 40 days, I'll tell you that. And there was almost a little bit of a competition around how quickly you could get back into it, right? Whether I was driving or whether I was going back to work. And I think we need to reevaluate all of that for the sake of our bodies, for the sake of our culture as a whole. The second piece is emotional. So we all know stress is, well, some amount of stress is good for your body, but most of us run on an excessive amount of stress, which is very much linked to ailments like obesity, chronic pain, heart disease. This is a little harder to tease out than, for instance, I fell down and cracked my knee open. Because your emotions can manifest in many different ways in your body. So for instance, I've had issues with my hips for a long time, and they say the hips are the junk drawer of emotion. This is where all the repressed shit sits. So as I work through physiotherapy, and I've now gravitated to more natural forms of recovery, which I'll talk about a little bit later, I also have to factor in what shit is sitting in my hips that I need to dislodge, that I need to release in whatever way, shape, or form works. It's important when you're looking at the emotional components to look at patterns. So do I get a migraine when I speak to a certain person or about a certain topic? Does my back start aching when I'm contemplating a change, or a visit, something? Because those are all clues. Our bodies are extremely intelligent, and mine, for instance, is very fucking loud. I'm learning. The third piece, which is the most esoteric, is the energetic piece. Psychologists, scientists, doctors, healers, shamanic healers, ancient healers, are all pretty much in agreement that the human body is made up of energy. Now, this is a great time to mention the Chakra System of the ancient Ayurvedic in India, which basically identifies 7 energy centers along your spine that the energy runs through. And there are others. There is the Meridian system in Chinese, there's Japanese Reiki. Because I'm Indian and this is where I grew up, I feel best equipped to speak to the Chakra system. And it's becoming more and more popular in the West, but I think it's a really important tool to understand physical ailments, particularly when you can't just pinpoint it to a physical, this is where, I fell down, cracked my knee. Apparently I've got knee issues, which I keep referring to my fucking knees. So let's talk about the chakra system, because each chakra is linked to a certain domain of your life, that governs the adjacent areas in your body. So you can start linking those things immediately. So the base chakra, the root chakra, is in your anogenital area, and that is linked to stability, security, your connection with your tribe, your financial stability. So it's really all about grounding. That's why it's called the root chakra. So when you have ailments around that area, it's important to think about how these aspects of your lives are feeling in alignment. You go up a bit. The second chakra is the sacral chakra, which is below your navel, and that governs your pleasure centers, joy, sex, creativity to some degree. And when you have issues in that area, it can lead to infertility. It can lead to depression. It can lead to low motivation, low accessibility to pleasure, and that fucking sucks, right? Nobody wants to live like that. The third chakra is the solar plexus, which is below the diaphragm here, and that is your personal power, your self-identity, your grounding in yourself, your career. And third chakra issues can manifest in digestion, in ulcers, in heartburn, right? It makes sense because it's all happening around this area. The fourth chakra is the chakra of the heart, of emotions like love, gratitude, forgiveness. And the fourth chakra, they say, is the bridge between the lower chakras and the higher chakras. And they're not lower or higher because they're better or worse. They just, they start with base things like your grounding, your foundation, your financial security, your stability, and then go up into your connection with the universe. So that's why we say higher or lower. So ailments of the heart, obviously, are ailments of the heart, also associated with bronchitis, respiratory issues, circulation issues, and emotionally isolation, withdrawal, detachment, all the things that you would expect. The fifth chakra is the throat, and that is your center of expression, of communication, and self-explanatory. When you have issues in these areas, you're not saying what you want to say. You're not expressing yourselves in your full, truest way. And we're talking about sore throats and laryngitis, and thyroid issues also are related to the fifth chakra here. The sixth chakra, often known as the third eye, intuitive knowing. And when there are issues here, you can imagine everything that is focused around your head, scalp issues, neurological issues, seizures. And from an emotional and spiritual perspective, having your inner eye closed means you just don't have access to that universal intelligence that lies within you. The seventh, the crown chakra, is literally your direct connection to the universe. It's why they believe when a baby is born, this area stays soft for a little while before it closes up, to sort of give it time to make the separation that needs to happen to lead this material form. And seven chakra issues are sort of self-explanatory. It's a loss of self. It's excessive egotism, excessive obsession, try saying that fast, with yourself, with this current identity. When a chakra is out of balance, it could be overactive. So even your heart chakra could be overactive, which means you're over empathetic and you're ultimately depleted. So when we talk about balancing the chakras, and there are infinite ways of doing that, it is about making sure that it's in balance, that it's not too much or too little. Why am I talking about this? Because I think that as we get older, we need to learn to appreciate this beautiful, complicated vehicle that allows us to move through the world with such grace and with such joy and with such energy. And I think that unfortunately, the medical system that we work with today does not integrate those three levels as I laid them out: physical, emotional, and spiritual. So you're kind of shit out of luck, to be honest, and have to figure it out yourself. But hey, we live in the information age, so there is that. Tell me how this resonates. Tell me how you're working with your body. In the meantime, I am here in my happy place in beautiful Malibu with the ocean and the sunshine, which I know is the best medicine for my body. So I wish you love, I wish you health, I wish you cheer, and cheers.